What's up, YouTube? It's me again, Grayman47, coming back at you with another video. So welcome back to my channel. If you're new to me, please check out some of the videos on my channel and hit that subscribe button, and also hit that notification bell so that you get notification every time I put out content, and that really helps the channel grow, so I appreciate it. Also, if you like this video, give me a thumbs up, and if you have any questions or comments, don't hesitate, put it down in that comment section. I love reading what you guys have to say. Alright, so in today's video, we're going to take a look at one of those ideas that you hear quite often and you hear a lot about, and that's home defense weapons. And a lot of folks out there want to know what it is that they should use for a home defense weapon. And I'm going to answer that with a quick follow-up as to it depends on you. It depends on your circumstances and your situation, where you live, you know, what type of home you have set up and all of that. But we're going to get into some of the most popular firearms that people like to recommend and use for home defense. And then by the end of this video, I'm going to show you what I actually use and tell you why I use what I use. All right, folks, so let's get it. Before we get into the first weapon, let me clear something up first. I know a lot of times there's this debate on whether or not, you know, if you have an intruder in your home, whether or not you should actually go to that intruder, or you should maybe go into one room and barricade yourself and you know, call the police, call 911, and then have your weapon available in case that intruder happens to come to the area that you're barricaded in. And then there's another camp that says that if, you know, certain situations arise, you might have to actually navigate or move through your home because maybe you have a loved one in another part of the house that you need to get to protect. So you may not be able to barricade yourself in one location. You might have to navigate through the house. So that brings me to my first point and my first, the first weapon that I'm going to talk about that's often recommended, and that's the shotgun. A lot of folks will say if you don't protect your home with a shotgun, you know, there's just nothing else you should use other than the shotgun, because the ballistics of a shotgun are devastating, which I 100% agree that those ballistics are devastating with a shotgun. If you hit somebody with a shotgun square on, I mean, the likelihood that they're going to continue to come after you is very low, depending on the load that you have in that shotgun. My problems with the shotgun, two problems. One is that it's actually a pretty large gun, even if you get a shotgun with a pistol grip on it. So it makes it very difficult to navigate through your home should you have to. If you have to turn corners or go into a room with a shotgun, whether it's with a full-length stock and a full-length barrel or a pistol grip, it makes it really difficult to do that. So that's one of my issues with the shotgun. The other issue with the shotgun is that if you put certain loads in your shotgun, yeah, it's devastating to the person that you're shooting at and that you hit, but it also penetrates walls, you know, at a high rate. So if you have folks in different parts of your house or other rooms, you don't want to, you want the likelihood of you penetrating walls and hitting your loved one to be as less as possible. So if you have double-aught buck in your shotgun, I mean, it does penetrate walls tremendously, as well as slugs and things like that. Now, some folks have said they'll put birdshot in there because birdshot will have a less likelihood of penetrating walls, and but still has the ballistics to take down an intruder. But it does not have the same ballistics of double-aught buck or a slug. So for me, that just kind of eliminates the shotgun as a home defense weapon. You know, like I said at the beginning of this, it kind of depends on you, your circumstances, and how your house is set up and where you live. If you live in an urban area where you have neighbors on the left of you and on the right of you, top and bottom, maybe you live in an apartment, the shotgun is not going to be a good alternative or a good measure of home defense for you, at least in my opinion. If you live way out in the country and you don't have neighbors for miles and you're not really worried about you know, ammunition leaving your home and maybe hitting innocent bystanders or other folks in other apartments, then maybe a shotgun is more of an option for you. But still, in my opinion, you know, I'm just not down with the shotgun as a home defense weapon, or at least as my primary home defense weapon. If I needed to get to a shotgun for some reason, and stuff just got that bad and it just went that sideways, you know, that I could see getting to a shotgun at that point. But for just saying that a shotgun is the number one home defense weapon, for me, I disagree with that. All right, next up on that list that you hear a lot about for home defense is the AR-15. Here's another one, folks. Again, here we go. Another weapon. To me, I never recommend that as a home defense weapon for anybody who asks advice from me. Simply because, again, you know, the weapon is large. It still is difficult to navigate through a home should you have to, especially if you're not trained. If you do a lot of training with close quarter battle, and you also do a lot of training with clearing rooms and things like that, then maybe you know, you can do that easily, and maybe that works for you. But again, it's still a large gun to navigate through the house if you have to. Now, my next problem is, again, with the loads that the AR-15 shoots. You know, the 5.56 is going to penetrate walls, drywall like crazy. I mean, you might get lucky and maybe it hits a stud, and maybe that stud or joist stops that round, but maybe not. So for me, I'm just not willing to take that chance. I just think it's just too much. And also, in addition to that, and I think it goes to the shotgun as well. Just the sheer sound of an AR-15 going off in an enclosed structure or in an enclosed facility is just so loud. Even if you have headphones on and ear protection, it's just so loud. If you've ever shot an AR-15 in an indoor range, you know what I mean. So just imagine that in your home, and imagine that going off, you know, without ear protection, or without ear protection for everybody in the home. I mean, I'm sure you're probably, you know, thinking, you know, I want to survive this encounter with this intruder, which I totally get. But you're probably going to come out with some ear damage afterwards, some hearing damage. You might not realize it at the time, but later on, you might suffer hearing loss or hearing damage. So again, for me, it just isn't feasible. Again, if you live in an apartment, you have neighbors on the side of you. I mean, you're talking about potentially, you know, your rounds over penetrating and going into their apartment. Just not a good option for me. And even if you throw in the 223 load, you're still going to get some over penetration with that as well. So again, the AR-15 is out for me for a primary home defense weapon. And I'm just going to say it again and just kind of repeat what I said about the shotgun. If shit hits the fan and I need to go to get to my AR-15, I know where it is. It's there, and I can understand in those situations. But just a primary home defense weapon, I'm not recommending the AR-15. All right, so next up, another weapon that you hear recommended as a home defense weapon is the pistol caliber carbine. And the pistol caliber carbine is usually found in two configurations. It's a carbine that shoots a pistol caliber, typically 9mm. Some of them do, like the Chris Vector makes it in a 45 ACP, and I think a 10mm as well. But the pistol caliber carbine can be usually found in two configurations, either with a pistol brace on the end of it, like this CZ Scorpion that I have has a pistol brace on it, so it is still considered a pistol. Or you could put a stock actually on this, and then at that point it becomes a short barrel rifle, which is still a pistol caliber carbine. But then you need the tax stamp and all of that if you opt to put a stock instead of a pistol brace on it. So a lot of folks will recommend the pistol caliber carbine as the ultimate home defense weapon because it does pack a lot of firepower. For example, this is a Magpul 35 round magazine, and then this Scorpion has a 9mm caliber. So now you have 35 rounds of 9mm as you go through your home. I would say that this also depends on your home setup, and this also depends on you know, where you live. The 9mm is going to penetrate obviously less than your 5.56 or even your 223 or double-aught buck out of the shotgun or slugs. So you are going to have less likelihood of penetration. But keep in mind, there is always, even if you protect your home with a 22 long rifle, there is always a chance of over penetration and it going into a room where a family member is located. So always keep that in mind as you plan how you want to protect your home. So again, this has a 9mm in it, but again, there's still that option or that chance of over penetration with it. It is still a little bit large. It's not as small as, say, a pistol, an actual handgun, or what we typically think of as a pistol or handgun. So you still need some training and some practice of navigating through your home with something this large, especially if you have the brace or stock out. So navigating still going to be a little bit of a challenge, not the same as an AR or even a shotgun. You could fold this if you have a folding pistol brace or a folding stock and then navigate this way. In this case, yeah, why not? Because it's still easy to navigate through a home, to make turns around corners without having to have so much of the gun in the way, and having to manipulate so much pistol or so much rifle. All right. So I think that a pistol caliber carbine is a viable option. I would just say, if you are, just be cautious of over penetration with a 9mm round. Don't put plus P rounds in there. I'd stick to standard pressure 9mm rounds and things like that. So this is a viable option. Again, not my choice, not my first choice of a home defense weapon. And I'm going to tell you why and tell you what I actually chose to use as my home defense weapon here next. All right, so my choice of a home defense weapon, or what I consider to be my nightstand gun, is going to be a regular typical pistol or handgun. And so for the one that I actually selected is the Glock 21. This is a Gen 4 Glock 21. And for those of you that aren't familiar with Glock, the 21 actually is chambered in 45 ACP, and it comes standard with two 13-round magazines of 45 ACP. If you notice on this particular gun, I have a base plate. This is a Terran Tactical base plate, and it's a +4. So now I have 17 in the magazine, plus 1 in the chamber. So I have 18 rounds of 45 ACP at hand as soon as I pick the pistol up. Now I also keep an additional magazine full with 13 rounds in it next to this pistol on my nightstand as well. And as you can see here, I have a TLR1 light on the end of it as well for nighttime, in case I have to light up an area in the home. And then I also have Trijicon Tritium night sights on this as well. And so just a quick note on the night sights, because I hear this a lot. A lot of people think I gotta have night sights. I gotta have night sights. The truth of the matter is, night sights really aren't all that functional, because the only time night sights actually really work is if the light is extremely perfectly set up. The conditions are perfectly well. Because if it is too dark, you can't see the target. So the night sights really aren't that functional. If it's light enough, you don't need the night sights. So it's that perfect mix of light and dark where the night sights actually work. What I say that the night sights actually are most functional is it helps me find my gun at night. So when it's sitting on my nightstand, I can see my gun. I can see the night sight, so I know exactly where it is, even in the dark, so it makes it quickly accessible for me. So I digress on the night sights, but I had to throw that in there. So again, the reason why I chose this, the Glock 21 and 45 ACP, is because a couple of reasons. It's still a handgun, so it's very easy to manipulate and maneuver throughout a home with this pistol. I don't have to worry about manipulating too much of a large weapon. This is very easy to manipulate. I can move around very easily with it. I can turn corners, all of that, if I have to. In addition to that, I can throw this to somebody else in my family and they can shoot this also. It is a little bit of a larger gun and a larger grip, but everybody in my family can handle and manipulate this pistol. Pretty simple. And also, in addition to that, I'm using, a gun that's 45 ACP. This is a full-size duty weapon. A lot of police officer and military units use Glocks and use the 21 to be specific. So it is a large gun, but because it's my nightstand gun and home defense weapon, I don't have to worry about the size so much. So I can, again, manipulate this weapon. I can clear my house with this weapon very easily. I can throw it to a family member in my home and they can actually use this as well. And it's chambered in 45 ACP, which has plenty of knockdown power. Does it have the same knockdown power as the 5.56 in the AR? No. Or even a slug in a shotgun or a double-aught buck? No. But it does have quite a bit of knockdown power. The 45 ACP is a proven cartridge, a proven load that does have quite a bit of stopping power. And then in addition to that, since I don't have to worry about concealing this weapon, I can throw on a +4 base plate and make this 18 rounds as soon as I grab the gun of 45 ACP. So that's why I went with this, because some folks will say, why wouldn't you just use a 1911? Because 1911s, they have a better trigger. They're more accurate. They're just a better overall gun than a polymer gun such as a Glock. But the capacity of a 1911 and 45 ACP is usually far, far inferior to that of this gun with a +4 base plate. So that's kind of why I'm going with this gun. This is my nightstand gun, and if I have to get to my AR-15 or my shotgun or my pistol caliber carbine, I can get to all of those things fairly quickly. But if I need to grab something on the spot and move through the house, this is going to be my first choice. Now, all that being said, I'm not saying that the Glock 21 is the ultimate handgun or hand pistol for home defense that everybody should go out and get. Some folks don't like Glocks. Some people don't like the way they feel in their hands or the grip angle. So I'm just suggesting a full-size duty weapon in 45 ACP in whatever flavor you like, whether it be 6 Sauer, whether it be F&N or anybody else out there, H&K, any of those. If it's a full-size duty weapon in 45 ACP and you can get extra base plates to extend the magazines, I'm thinking that the 45 ACP in a traditional pistol is maybe the first line of defense when it comes to protecting your home. So that's what my recommendation is, and typically that's what I say to folks who ask me. Now, if you're a person that you don't have multiple guns and maybe you're looking for your first gun, then you're looking for something that you can carry and use for home defense. And you can pretty much do that with any of the pistols out there. Even if you chose to buy for your first gun a Springfield Hellcat or a 6 Sauer P365, even though those are smaller size guns, subcompact pistols, and they shoot 9mm rounds, if it's your first gun and your only gun, it's going to do the job as a home defense weapon as well as your concealed carry. So that's where I stand as far as home defense weapons. All right, y'all, if you have comments, don't hesitate. Go down to the comments section, throw something in there. I always appreciate when you guys stop by and drop some lines. I appreciate that. I love hearing what you have to say. If you have some recommendations for home defense weapons, let me know. If you agree or disagree with what I said in this video, I'm cool with that too. Let us know. So like I said, throw down some comments if you have some. And if you like this video, do me a favor, give me a thumbs up, and don't forget to smash that subscribe button and hit the little bell so you get notifications every time I put out content. All right? So, like I always say, y'all, if you ain't packing, you're slacking. I'll see you when I see you.
Perfect.